I moved here from New York. I think the only thing I miss about that city is there's no stigma for riding public transportation. Like I can just take a girl home on the bus and we'll still fuck. It's amazing. It's not like that in the rest of the country, you know? Like people here just fear the bus. That's how it works. Like I told this girl I was going to take a bus home from a show. She was like, "Oh my God, I would never ride the bus. I'm afraid I'll get kidnapped." It's like, how the fuck do you kidnap somebody on a bus? Throw a bag over their head and ring the bell? Get off at the next stop like, all right. Now we're going to walk 1.5 miles to my house. Stay quiet. I was hanging out with a bunch of musical theater performers recently, which, my mistake. And we were talking about music we liked growing up. I was like, hey, you guys remember Blink-182? And one of them was like, well, actually, I went to a really prestigious performing arts high school, so it's more like Bach. Ah, Bach 182? Glad you guys liked it. He didn't think it was funny at all. Yeah, apparently actors don't like it when you make fun of the money their parents wasted, so that one hits too close to home in Hollywood. One of them was a former beauty pageant queen. She just kept talking about her nose job. Nobody asked. She just kept mentioning it. She's like, I had a nose job, but it's because I broke my nose in a snowboarding accident. Ah. How'd you break your tits? Was it a motorboating accident? Glad you guys liked it. She didn't think it was funny at all, right? I remember my first existential crisis. I was 6 years old, which is too young for an existential crisis. We were in second grade reading class, reading a book about a kangaroo. And I have no idea what the story was. All I remember is that on the cover of that book was a picture of that same kangaroo reading that same book. And on the cover of that book was a picture of that same kangaroo reading that same book. And on the cover of that book was a picture of that same kangaroo reading that same book. And on the cover of that book was a picture of that same kangaroo reading that same book. And on the cover of that book was a picture of that same kangaroo reading that same book. Now I'm 6 years old in reading class, contemplating the infinity of the fractal universe. They put me in special ed pretty quickly. No more staring out the window for you, bright eyes. When I was in 6th grade, my friends I had known since 2nd grade decided to stop hanging out with me. And the reason they gave me is that I wasn't naturally cool. Which hurt my feelings because they were right, you know? I sucked at sports. I didn't own any video games. My parents weren't divorced. There was nothing cool about me. I think the main reason I wasn't naturally cool, though, is because we didn't have cable TV. I had no older siblings, so I had no connection to pop culture at all. So the other kids were listening to their older brother's Marshall Mathers LP. I'm out there listening to my mom's Men Without Hats cassette tapes. So everyone on the playground is reciting the real Slim Shady. I'm up there like, you can dance if you want to. You can leave your friends behind. Oh, can I? Can I leave my friends behind? Well, guess what? They left me behind because of your shitty-ass music, Men Without Hats. Now I'm boy without friends. Thanks for that one. The safety dance. I feel very unsafe now. My dad found out that my friends had stopped hanging out with me, and his solution was to come to school the next day at recess and just tell them to be my friends again. Because nothing says naturally cool like parents. Oh great, now they all know my dad's unemployed. Way to add fuel to that fire.